Anyways, so I guess let me introduce myself. My name's CC, and you are.
I am onetabloid.
All right. So let's see here. Who was it? I think it was Ricky who recommended I talk to you, and then Zem.
Interesting that Ricky recommended this because I think you said you were writing something on NG Plus, right?
Yes.
And yeah, I've got to say, I mean, I've been around a lot in the Rat community when NG Plus stuff has been happening, but it's never been my main category.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been any percent has always been my main category.
Yeah.
Ricky, I'm assuming, have you already spoken to Ricky?
Yes.
Yeah, he had he had the record for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
After he started the second stint of him running it again in late 2017. Before that, he did have it, but he took a massive break, and then now Friends has the record, right?
Yep.
Have you spoken to Friends?
Not yet. He's on my list.
He's worth talking to. He's been the guy that's really pushed the category most recently.
Yeah, I let's see here. Yeah, I talked to Ricky last night.
Okay.
And so he was just telling me, but he did say he gave me a whole list of people that I should talk to. He said that you would be able to tell a great story, even though you're just an 8% runner. I think you're maybe a good storyteller, but also the fact that you made that 2017 in
right,
review.
yeah. Because I was gonna mention the majority of 2017 I did cover in that video. Before 2017, I'm kind of useless for, I feel, because I wasn't in the community.
Right.
But ever since then, probably 2017 to present is what my knowledge is. I remember a lot of when Scaff was running, back when he was the main he was basically the only person running NG Plus for a solid block of time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ricky came back towards the end of 2017. And started running it again quickly. He got the record. I was like right after Scaff went on like hiatus, from which he still hasn't returned. He's like popped up every now and again in some Discords and been like, oh, well, maybe, but nothing has come of it as of yet. I think, yeah, no, Ricky he had a record for a long time. Then he kind of dropped it to went to run other stuff, and then NG Plus. I feel like the majority of 18, it was kind of. Oh no, because he was pushing it really low, and then about halfway through 2018, I think he dropped it. I can't remember the exact times.
Yeah, he I remember he did the like every day in April.
Yeah, that's right. He did the month of Rack. I remember that, and then he ended up lowering it to, I think it was like 34 was the last was his PB, current PB.
Correct. Yeah.
And then Friends beat it after a long time. I believe it was towards the end of 2018, right? Or
November
2018. Yeah. And he just God. And then after that, I think it was he beat it again, but it was quite recently actually. It was like about a month ago. The last time record was broken. I might have gotten that completely wrong. Okay, June, yeah. So just over a month ago.
Your timeline is fairly consistent.
Yeah, I mean, this is all from memory. I've got to say, I haven't been active in the Rat community because of school stuff for a few months, but I've been keeping my eye on it.
I got you. So I guess you might be more helpful specifically with like sort of the storylines and things going on behind the scenes, because seeing as you weren't specifically running New Game Plus. But like, so tell me more about like Scaff, right? So Scaff seems to come out of nowhere, and he beats Zem. But tell me more about Scaff.
Right. So Scaff gets world record for the first time right after, right before pretty much I joined the community. So I think Scaff gets world record for the first time in like maybe January. It's in my year in review video. I can't remember. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
I think maybe like January 2017. I joined the community in about February, maybe March. Actually, I can't remember when my first actual stream was. It wasn't long after my first uploaded run, which I can actually check that now. Which was let's see, 20th of February. So I would have joined late February the community. And then after that, it was sort of a schism. Not a schism. That's the wrong word. There was this sort of like for the longest time there was the Ratchet community wasn't really in like it wasn't really as like, I want to say happy days as it is now. It's not so happy days now, but it is. There was a lot more like it was a lot more how do I say, like cliquey back then. Like in 2017, there was like a group that was sort of split off, quite a large group that was sort of split off from the main Ratchet community, and we had our own Discord. It was actually owned by a guy called Sneep, who is not in the community so much anymore. He is also off doing his own thing. But he had a Discord which Scaff was mainly active in. He was also active in the Rack community, but there was a lot of drama that went on, especially with Zem. So a lot of people, there was a lot of clashing between Zem over a couple different things. Maybe don't highlight that so much, but there was this. The point is that there was this other Discord that we were all active in, and we spent a lot of time in that, but probably more time active in that sort of community than we were in the Ratchet community.
Okay.
So Scaff was mainly active in that. We had a lot of there was a lot of like it was just basically like a meme hell zone. Like we would just go in there and meme about everything that was going on, meme about the Ratchet community, meme about things that were happening. Lots and lots of memes. I don't know. Yeah. And that's just like a lot of the thing I remember from Scaff, because Scaff was like quite young when he, not like young, but like I think when he was active, he was maybe 15, 16.
That's pretty young.
Yeah, like on the younger side anyway. And he would often like, as a character, he tended to be someone that was, I don't want to say laughed at, because he definitely wasn't like, he was kind of like the butt of a lot of jokes, but it was always quite lighthearted. You know, he was always because he used to say some like really dumb stuff all the time. So like we had like a vast quantity of like pins of like messages that he'd put, and we just go through and like all of the Scaff pins. I can send you some of these pins if you like.
Sure.
I don't think Scaff is gonna be too happy with me if I send you them, but okay. So like. That's one that was referenced all the time. Out of context, it's pretty funny, but the context makes it funny.
Oh man.
Let me see. Memes. They are still all pinned now. This Discord is pretty much dead now. But around the time the time the Scaff was active, it was booming. There was That's the most interaction I had with him, was basically just memeing him. But when he was, I probably should be talking about the game, huh? The time he was active, he was killing it. I mean, he was the only one that was really pushing the game at the time. Basically, before Ricky came back, he was the only one that was really pushing for optimizing the movement that was in the game. Looking for new strats. He found a strat on Battalia at the time, based on a TAS that Nano Hologuys made. So he watched a TAS and he made an Energy Plus strat basically based on what was done in the TAS, which I thought was super cool. Like that's probably the first time, and only to my memory, that we've ever had in the Rat community new RTA strats coming out of the TAS element of things. We don't have a very strong TASing group. There have been a few dotted about. So Nano Hologuys is the main guy that has done TASing work before, but there've been a couple of others. Another guy called Sip, who is actually in this Discord, I can see.
Cypress?
Cypress, yeah. I've never known how to pronounce his name. You can hear me talking about it in the Your Review video, and I just don't know. I haven't got a clue. I think people got quite annoyed with me for saying his name wrong.
Well, apparently everyone calls him Sippy. So
yeah, I call him Sip or Sippy because it's what everyone else calls him, but when I have to say like his full name, I just don't know. And I said Cypress in the thing because I feel like sip is like a
know, that's a safe way to say it.
Yeah, right. I figured, but I think people still got annoyed with me. There was another whole one. There you go. So that's quite a concise It's like quite a concise thing of what I'm trying to say. Basically, he was very, very good at Rack 1 and G Plus, and he was very, very easily memeable because of a lot of the stuff he said and did. But I mean, there was no one that could deny that he was pretty much he was easily the best at what he did when he was doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's a runner named Slaughter. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
So Slaughter,
before we get into, I was going to say Slaughter told me that I talked to him already, and he said that whenever Scaff was playing, it was like just blowing him away, and it was the only other time he felt that way was whenever he watched Tice Man back in the day, like when he was
no, definitely. So Slaughter was a bit before my time. When he was active, I'm aware of him. I've spoken to him before, but not too much. Yeah, I feel like for me, Scaff was probably because the second time it happened was with a guy called Oxover, who started doing some of the more NG plusy strats, or like the more sort of NG plus movement, if you like, in any percent for the first time, which is the first time I'd really seen it. So Scaff being who he was and being as good as he was in NG Plus was probably the first time I saw someone playing the game and just thought like, like, wow, this is like so much better than anything. Because like by the time, like, obviously I got into running through watching any percent run. I got into running rack through watching any percent runs, specifically Raikaru's any percent run at GDQ, whenever that was. I think it was 15 or 16.
Okay.
So like that was what hit me off the Ratchet in the first time. But by the time I was in the community and I knew what I could do and what I couldn't do, Scaff was the first person I was watching. Really, he was sort of like, wow, the stuff he's doing is like out of my league right now. Like there's no like contesting. There's no like me contesting that without like a serious amount of grinding. So he kind of blew a lot of people away. I think NG Plus was good at the time, pretty good, but not. It was like pushing it to another level. And then, like I say, I feel like the previous world record holders for any percent weren't taking the category to the level that Scaff was. Weren't taking their category to the same level that Scaff was taking NG Plus to. Until Ox, I'd say, where Ox started pushing any percent lower and lower, and then with movement refinements more than anything else, he started doing cineflips in any percent, which were previously considered like NG Plus only, because NG Plus gives you. I'm not sure how much you know about like the tech, but
I'm aware of a lot of these names, like cineflips. I know what that is.
Yeah, so there's a thing in NG Plus that we have, which we don't get any percent, or we not at least not until recently, called the PDA, which allows you to like jump in the air and do several other things. Basically, cineflips is a lot safer in NG Plus because you have that safety net of the PDA there. And Ox started doing cineflips in any percent. Who I believe he was the first person to do that. It was more like an NG Plus strap. It was without the safety net of that PDA there. So I would say like he was also like the first person that started taking any percent to the sort of level that Scaff was trying to get to with NG Plus. I have just realized that I'm talking about any percent when I'm supposed to be talking about NG Plus, but like I'm trying to like, present some parallels because they were both happening around the same time.
Right.
Ox doing any percent and Scaff doing NG Plus. And then I got any percent record and have basically had it since, apart from France has it now.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing is like, I'm interviewing, I think like almost 10 people, I think. So I'm going to have a lot of different perspectives. Yeah. And it's totally fine if you want to talk a bit more about any percent stuff. Like, I mean, maybe that's not the whole focus of what we're talking about, but I mean, I don't mind if you want to talk about it a little bit. Yeah, no,
I mean, like, there isn't really much more to say to like link it to NG Plus. I mean, obviously, what I would say is about NG Plus, the category, is that it has always been obviously it's always been the fastest category, but when you look at any percent, it's definitely, it's like it's always been taking pointers from it. People have said this more and more over the years, and especially more recently. It's like the more any percent evolves, the more it starts to look like NG Plus. the more like tight movement options are being added to like the meta. The more like any percent, because always any percent has always been more focused on like tricks, like can you get the trick, whereas NG Plus has always been more focused on like can you get fluid movement, can you do this thing like optimally, whereas any percent's like if you're good at the tricks then you're good at the category, whereas like and then any percent started getting optimized to the point where it's more about movement now because people are good enough at the tricks that it's just assumed you'll get the tricks. So the more any percent evolves, the more it starts to look like NG Plus, which is like the truly optimized category of the game. With times within 30 seconds of the community summer best right now. I'm not actually entirely sure. Community. Let's see the community goals. Wow, that's sad. I don't have the Ratchet community goals on my autocomplete anymore. That shows you how long I've been not running the game for. I used to just type in like RA on my Google and it would autocomplete to the Ratchet and Clank community summer best. So I don't know if you know that we have this thing. We have golds.
I've seen it. Yeah,
you've seen it. The comp sub's cool. I'm not.
Which is a very cool idea.
Yeah, it really is a cool idea. It gives you a really good idea of what the category is capable of, because obviously, like one person might not be as good at one segment as someone else is, and then they're better than the other person at the other segments. So, it really does give you an idea of like how far you can push the category. I'm assuming you have also seen the NG Plus segmented run.
Yes.
That will.
Okay, I actually haven't watched it. It's in my like to watch list.
It's
Zaki showed it to
definitely worth a watch. It's
the 1812, I think.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think that like I kind of didn't even want to watch it because I was like, I've seen so many NG Plus runs. I think the segmented run is just going to look like a really well done NG Plus run, which is kind of boring to me. Like I was like, I don't know. There's a difference between it like being a task and being a segmented run, you know.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'd watch a task because there'd be like mental things happening, and I'd watch a good run because it's like someone's doing it LTA and stuff. But I didn't really want to watch it segmented, so I kind of like forced myself to watch it, and it blew me away.
Okay.
I didn't realize like how good it could be. So highly recommend you watch that.
I will.
It's definitely the peak of what has been achieved in Rack 1 period, I would say.
Okay. I'll watch it as soon as we're done here.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a watch. I can't even find it right now, which is kind of annoying. Community. I want to find the community goals so I can actually talk about that. Would be good. No, not the Google Snake leader. There we go. Segmented. Oh, okay. So yeah, the community golds also get memed quite a lot.
I'm getting the picture that there's a lot of memes going on.
Yeah, I didn't really. So if you look at, I don't know where that just came from. Like, what tab was that? Okay. Yeah, for some reason the community golds defaulted to the Q force and tab there, and there's a lot of, I mean, if you want to look at that, there's a lot of pictures on there.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
All right, let's move over to
But fortunately, if you go to the Rack 1 tab, there are significantly less pictures. There are still some. There's Franz being depicted as a plate of spaghetti at the bottom there, which is fantastic. Who has all of the community gold now, apart from what? Oh no, Isaki has some, but there's Ricky, the only one he has left. There was a time where Ricky did have all of the community golds.
Yeah,
and he currently only has.
He did that video about is sub 20 possible or free or whatever. I don't know. He did 2 videos, and one of them he showed a picture that he had all of them except for like 2.
Right. Yeah, I think there was a point where he did literally have them all, and now he has 2 left. So that is an indicator of how far we've come. But if you look at, that's funny. I've just seen that Scaff has left a little comment from March 2019, just being like, what the fuck? I didn't realize, just seeing how like far the categories come. So obviously, Scaff left the category at 21 something or other. Like it was a mid 21 when Scaff left the category.
21-27, I think.
21-27, yeah. So to come back, a year or so later, and it's dropped by
like 2.5 minutes.
It's considered really, really optimized when Scaff got that time as well. It was like, oh, we can't really go much lower, and then it was discovery after discovery, optimization after optimization, and now we're down to what, fucking 19 minutes, 18 seconds.
Yeah. What do you think the biggest time differences are between France's run and this community golds?
Oh, I actually have no idea. So I've probably watched Franz's run once, and it's been a long time. I'm probably not the best person to ask about that. Franz is most likely the best person to ask about that.
I'll ask Franz, and I'll also do a split comparison.
Yeah, of course. You can. I mean, if you want to do a rundown like that, you can just watch the run through, see how much time he loses to his golds, because they're basically the same. I mean, his golds are 3 seconds off of the community golds. So, I mean, you probably don't even have to do that math. You can just see, he can just like watch his run and see how when he's losing time to golds and stuff, or what mistakes he makes. But he's I mean, his run's pretty damn optimized at this point. It's to look at the community summer best and say, we're only just within a minute. It's only like 50 seconds within. It kind of makes it not sound too great for like a 20-minute run, right? Like I know that there's some more popular speed games where the summer best is a bit closer to the world record, but like the thing is with NG Plus, it's like because it's all about movement. There's like every single neutral long jump, every single wallop punch you do, every single like jump you do, flip, side flip, midair, it can always be like frame perfect. It can always be more optimal. You can always get slightly more speed out of it. Like you're not gonna hit like your midairs, your neutral cancels, your wallop punches like frame perfect every time. So it's all about movement optimization. Like frames of mistakes add up and they add up and they add up. If your midairs aren't consistently good, you're losing time. So like it's less about like it's less about big mistakes and it's more about movement optimization, and just adds up. It just adds up really quickly. Obviously mistakes come into it and they happen as well, but like it's such a tight category in that way that the time loss that you lose just by not being perfectly optimal is considerable when you go over the length of a 20-minute run.
So I want to ask you, what was it like to see Ricky push the game down to the sub 20?
Oh, it was phenomenal to see him doing what he was doing in the short amount of time that he did as well. Was absolutely crazy to watch. I mean, we were all there when he got sub 20 for the first time, and it was just a moment. It was like one of the moments that I as a speedrunner love seeing, like someone having a goal and like finally achieving it after like loads of effort, loads of grinding, loads of practice, loads of improvement. It just felt really good. And of course the implication, like when you see that, it's just so motivating to you in your own runs as well. Like you see someone achieving this like long-term goal that they've been working towards for so long, and then the first thing you think is like, I want to do that. Like I want to go back to, like in my case, any percent and just like destroy that category now. So yeah, no, watching Ricky do that was definitely like a huge thing for me. Pushing NG Plus to just a place where it had never been before.
Yeah. It's crazy. I remember watching it and seeing that pop off in the speech at the end, and everyone was just going crazy.
Yeah,
I can only imagine. Well, I mean, I can imagine because I'm watching it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, yeah. I mean, we I don't know, in my own speed games, whenever we hit milestones like that, it's like, oh yes, it's good stuff.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Well, what do you run? Just how many?
So I'm a Pokemon Snap speedrunner.
Oh, nice. Okay, I don't think I've ever seen a Pokemon Snap run before.
Yeah, it's a bit different, but it's very interesting. I think it's a lot of fun. We do get memed on a little bit because it's Pokemon Snap of all things, but
yeah, I mean, like if there's something I've known, if there's something I've like found out from my time in the speedrunning community is that there's no run stupid enough. Like there's no run too stupid. Like whatever you think it is, someone's going to be like, however bad you think it is, someone's going to be running it.
yeah.
You know? So like
the Pringles guys set up at HDQ every single time, and they always have a setup. That Pringles game is like, I don't understand why people like it, but people do.
I have never heard of the Pringles game.
Oh my gosh!
Fran's the world record holder for NG Plus right now, as we know. I think I can't remember. I don't know whether he still has the world record for Google Snake, but he did at one point. The 20 apples category of the Google Snake.
Google Snake.
I know this because I was silently trying to beat him for a while. So me and Franz have this thing where Franz, I think, doesn't really do things to be good at them. Franz just does things to be better than me at them. So like he started playing Rocket League just to be better than me. He started doing 10 goal bolts, bopped me and then left. He started doing all check marks, bopped me and left. He started doing AGB, bopped me and then immediately left. I think he tied me. No. He got a PB that was 1 second better than my PB, which was nowhere near world record at the time, and then left. He just wanted the time that was better than mine, and then he left. NG Plus has been the one thing that he has done, I think, just to be good at it. Everything else has just been, I just want to be better than Tab. So, yeah.
Do you guys know each other beforehand, or?
No, not really. We've got a sort of a relationship in memeing each other. There was a period of time where we were grinding back and forth for any percent world record. That was around the end of last year. So we've built up like a healthy competition, and pretty much everything we do, we have a healthy competition in Rocket League. Pretty much whenever I play with him, we'll start the day with a 1v1, and it's always quite, I don't want to say bitter, but it's always quite like I'm trying harder in those 1v1s than I'm trying when we play together. I want to beat him.
I gotcha.
It's always been so the Google Snake thing. I know he was playing Google Snake because I saw him doing it. I've never told him this actually because I never got there. I spent a solid 6 hours trying to beat his time so that I could just so I could be better than him at something, and I didn't do it. So I never told him that I tried to do it.
Yeah, you can't let him know. Can't let him know you defeated him again. He defeated you again. Okay.
So yeah, Google Snake. I know what it's like to do stupid runs. Trust me.
Oh goodness.
I'll just be right back. Sorry.
All right, go ahead.
Hello.
Howdy do.
Hello. Yeah. Okay, I've just broken my chair, but let's continue.
No, not the chair.
Actually, no, I think it just came out. The dowel just came out a little bit. I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so you've listened to me ramble on.
Right. I'm trying to think, do I have any questions for you? Because that was kind of covered most of what I wanted to get at. Just sort of like the characters behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
We can cut this out if you don't want to talk about it, but you said something about like there was Zem and drama or something. Was it about the game or was it about other stuff?
The Zem drama was always more about okay, can I ask like how much of this is going to be made public? Like are you going to be editing this down?
I'll be editing it down, and like I said, I can cut this part out. So that's if you don't,
okay, cool.
If this isn't comfortable, yeah, we can.
Cool, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, and then, I'll tell you. Like, I'll give you like a brief overview. There's been like a lot of drama. Always been, just it's not always been about Zem. It has been most of the time. There were one or two people in the community that were not being team players, to put it. and would flame and shit on people all the time, and and there was a lot of drama around those sorts of people because some of the time they were otherwise respectable runners, but occasionally would just come out with stuff, and it's kind of a difficult situation where you're like, I mean, I wasn't a moderator at the time, but there's kind of a difficult situation where you have to sort of balance like these people are valuable community members otherwise, but then they have these like clashes with other community members, and there's a lot of drama that kicks off that way, and it kind of like in a big way sometimes it splits the community. So a lot of the time it was kind of like the pro Zen people versus the like anti Zen people for a decent amount of time. Even like this is going back a while because we're a lot better now. We've made significant improvements in as a community to be a bit more like whole.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, when we split off into that other Discord, a lot of it was basically not centered around, but there was a lot of talking about like Zem and like negative discussion, should I say, going on. So yeah, there was sort of like an us versus them attitude for a while, and then it sort of all ended one day. So Zem, after a certain period of time, joined that Discord. He was given a link. There was a snitch. I'm not going to out the snitch. I think I do know who it is, but there was somebody who was feeding Zem info from the inside as he was being talked about.
Got a mole.
Yeah, there was a mole. Yeah, and basically, so Zem knew what was happening. And then after a certain point, I think someone just gave him it came to a head, and I think Sneep gave him a link to join the Discord, and we just all hashed it out, and in one day, and then we were sort of all right. So the issues people were having with Zem at the time, where they thought he was like selling out, and his stream was less about the game and more about like making money and stuff. So it was that sort of those were the sort of grievances that people had.
I gotcha.
Especially, actually, I don't want to mention specific names, so I really don't want to go into this anymore because
that's fair.
I don't want to bring up shit from the past. I was just trying to contextualize a lot of what was going on, especially around the SCAF era. There was a decent amount of drama. As a community now in 2019, we are so much better than we were.
Okay, that's fine. We don't have to include that. I mean, it's probably not that important to the whole story overall.
Yeah, so, of course.
I was just kind of curious. Just in case there was any scandalous activity.
No, not huge scandals.
No cheating, nothing like that.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're all just sort of like, a lot of the time, young, degenerate gamers. So there's going to be a lot of clashes in that
Indeed. Way. Yeah, because you were saying that there's like a split, like a splinter cell, more or less. Some of y'all went off to go do your own thing, and that reminded me of like Ricky and them have gone off to make the Chillest Boys, which is a separate Discord, which is like Ticeman and Tylo and Slaughter and Ricky and Zem and them they have their own
So they were around.
They're no longer in the regular Ratchet Discord. Right.
Yeah, they were people that were around. They were sort of like the old crowd of being Ratchet. So Zem, Ricky, and the others have been into speedrunning and speedrunning in general a lot longer than I have. I say into. I have liked and been interested in speedrunning for about 6 or 7 years. I only started really running. I only started interacting with the speedrunning community, should I say? Because I did my own sort of private runs of Dark Souls for a couple of years, maybe about 3 years. It was never any good. And then when I started running Rack, I decided to join the Rack community. And that was obviously in about 2017. So I've only really been active and a presence and relevant for the last 2 and a bit years.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay. What inspired you to make the 2017 in review?
It was a labor of love, definitely.
Gotcha.
At the time, Ratchet was probably the biggest part of my life. Without wishing to get like too, I don't want to say emotional, but like without wishing to get too, I'll say emotional.
I know what you mean.
It wasn't the greatest time in life for me in a lot of ways. That I sort of was in uni at the time, still am, and I wasn't going for a great period of my life. Ratchet was sort of like the community around it, the friends I had through Ratchet were the best friends I had at the time, really. And when I made that video, I spent about 10 days of my life. I don't think I've ever been more dedicated to a project in my life, actually. I spent 10, which is kind of sad to say, but I spent, I think, 10 or 11 days of my life back to back. I woke up, I scripted, I edited, I downloaded videos, I did all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I ate and I slept and I didn't do anything else. I just did that all day, every day, for the best part of 2 weeks. And it was kind of my love letter to the Rat community at the time. I thought I was going to make another one, but I didn't. Basically, situations came, and at the moment I'm super busy, and I'm just trying to get my life together to the point where I can come back. Honestly, I haven't fallen out of love with Ratchet at all, but at the time that was really my love letter to the community and to the game in general.
Okay.
Which is sad to say because I go back at it now and I just think of everything that's wrong with it and it really annoys me. But yeah, no,
that's
definitely.
That's the was it the crunch or whatever? No, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. It's like the plight of every content creator.
Yeah, no.
Oh, my love letter is I'm going to pour myself into this for 2 weeks, and then you watch it and you're like, and I forgot I did that thing where
there is
I messed up the voice line.
yeah. There's a specific moment that haunts me in that video. There is a specific moment where there's an arrow that sort of visibly points to nothing. I'm talking about, I'm going into NG Plus, I'm talking about the goodies menu, and the video pauses maybe like a frame too late or something, and the arrow is just pointing at the moving screen rather than what it's actually supposed to point to. And we watched it together as a community right after I published it. So maybe 10, 12 people in this Discord watching this all together.
Right.
And that happened and I just broke down. I was like, no, I fucking checked that right before as well. I feel like it just rendered a frame out of sync or something because I specifically went and checked it and it was on YouTube before I even noticed. So yeah, it really gutted me. But I mean, the main other problems I have with it are I don't like how my voice sounds, and I don't like some of the things I say. I don't like watching it these days.
Yeah, well,
but yeah,
it's no longer for you; it's for everyone else.
Yeah. People like watching it, and then they can watch it. I'm happy when they do. I'm happy to provide content that people like. There've been a couple of people that have said that they came into the community because they found that video and it inspired them, which I could not love more. The idea that I have made content that has inspired someone to take up a new hobby or to do something, to try something out, like speedrunning, which has been such an influence on my life personally, is a huge deal for me. I love the idea that I have done that for even one person. I've talked a bit more, not about inspiring people, but a bit more about what speedrunning means to me. In a podcast I did with Ricky a long time ago. It was maybe about a year ago. We were going to do more. It didn't end up fitting on the Ricky schedule. But that's another thing to look at if you haven't. I mean, I wouldn't recommend you listen to it all because it's an hour and 40 minutes long. But if you're interested in hearing me ramble about speedrunning a bit more, then you can listen to that.
Okay, what's it called?
I can link you it. It's just it's on Ricky's YouTube channel, just called the Tab and Ricky podcast.
The Tab and Ricky podcast. Okay. There you go.
I'm really proud of the YouTube video actually because you got these little waveform things going on, and it was quite cool at the time.
Oh my gosh, I wish I knew how to do
that. Yeah, I did it in the jankest way. I did it in a really, really jank way. So what you're looking at when you're watching the screen is actually my other screen, so I have two screens. You're looking at my side screen desktop with the tab with the taskbar removed, and that's my desktop screen. So I put some text over the top for the Tab and Ricky podcast. We found that background, I photoshopped that together and put our two avatars there, and the two waveforms are actually from have you heard of Rainmeter?
I know the name, yeah.
Rainmeter, so it's like a desktop application, and they have these things, waveforms, where
gotcha.
You can put it on there, and if music's playing, it will pop up on your desktop with the waveforms, the visualizer. so I had one of those that was hooked up to my mic, and then another one that was hooked up to the speaker sound, which was Ricky. So I had to turn everything off, make sure there were no other noises, pure. And that's the only way I could figure out how to do it. And it looks really good, but the setup was so arduous. But yeah, so it does look. I think the result was really nice. But yeah,
there you go. Okay. Is there anything that you think that we should talk about that we haven't talked about yet?
No, I don't think so.
Covered the bases pretty well.
Yeah, I think we've covered the bases really well. I think just in general, like I'll just to top it off, I would say they're like I say, the Ratchet are probably like some of the best friends I've had. Like the period, like there was a point about last year this time when I ran out of money. I was going through a really rough time. I'd just broken up with my girlfriend. Were dropping massively, and I remember specifically I had this day where I saw. So what happened was I was really depressed about all this stuff happening, and I went to get a pint. I went to get a pint at the pub, and which is a very British thing to do when you're upset.
Yeah, that sounds
online.
very...
So I walked around to the corner. I walked around the corner to my local, and on the way I saw my ex with her new boyfriend, which really, really upset me. And I was like, "Fuck me! I just want a pint." So I went to my local and I went to the pint. I went to buy a pint, and they poured it for me, and my card got declined because I had run out of money.
Ooh.
And so that was a really quite not a very good day for me. And I remember the Ratchet community. I was talking to a couple of people about everything that was, and unbeknownst to me, pressuring me to stream with the Ratchet community, and unbeknownst to me, what they had done is that they had all got together in a private Discord, and they pulled loads of money together to donate to me on my stream, which is why they were pressuring me to stream, which was probably, I would say, the nicest thing that anyone has done for me, period. I still think about it all the time. I honestly can't believe that I meant enough to a group of people for them to do something like that for me. So the Ratchet community, nothing but love, nothing but endless love.
Hell yeah, man!
And I feel like that's a great place to start. Have some food waiting for me to eat.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah, thanks for talking to me, by the way.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for talking to me. I've had a great time.